Okay. So you've been extremely busy.
Yep.
You went off to Utah State, right? And you did that visit. So like with this whole thing, I've actually got some really good responses from like parents about how this following your story specifically
Yeah.
is like helping
Really?
because they're trying to do this for their kids. You know what I mean? They don't know anything about recruiting. They don't know anything about going on visits or anything like that. So it's like, yeah, this stuff is really helping. So I decided let's just keep following your stuff because like you are literally doing this at the
Yeah.
highest level possible.
Not like so not just them, but like my parents. When we first started, we literally had no idea how to get recruited. Um, like how to even like what are even official visits? What are visits like? We didn't even know
Right.
how like all of that even worked. So
How do you feel about it now? Like you guys have a good understanding of how
yeah,
things work.
yeah. So it was pretty interesting. So when I first went up there, like when everything all started, it was just intense. Like wow, this is really happening. So when we went up there, it was a cool experience. Like you get to have people host you. Like one of the softball girls host you. You get your flight.
What does that mean that she hosts you? Like you
Yeah. So basically, you just hang out with her. She like shows you around. You just basically hang out, see what's going on.
do you have to check out like the facilities
Yeah.
and where the
Yeah.
team
Basically,
practices?
the head coaches walked us around, walked all of the parents around the facility, the academic area, the softball field, everywhere, and then our host would like take us to the football game and like be there with us at the football game. Just a lot of stuff like that.
And what kind of stuff are you taking in? Like, what are you paying attention to when it comes to these visits?
Definitely the coaches and how they like treat their players and like how they and also just like how they handle their practices and like just everything like that because I don't want to go any somewhere that's like they're like too they're like showing you how they are. I don't know how to explain it. They're just like
You want a good team
yeah.
atmosphere, like what
Yeah.
you're used to now.
Yeah, and how they just run everything.
Okay, what about the academic side? Did you get to look at any of the
Yeah. We toured the academic facilities or just like the academic what are they called? Buildings.
buildings?
And so like there would be specific areas for like business if you there's like two buildings for like business and like science and just stuff around that. So like that's really good so you won't be like walking around as far as like your different classes if that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, how did Utah specifically find out about you? Did they call you, or like how did that whole thing go down
basically, Coach Brian, which is my club coach, he put up a camp
for Hot Shots?
Yeah, for Hot Shots. He put up a camp this past summer, and it was held at Regis University. And so basically, he just gets a whole bunch of colleges to come out and watch us. Not just our team, but Hot Shots organization. So there was like 4 teams there. And so basically, in the beginning, we would just show our skills, fielding, hitting, and then the second half of the camp, it would just be just the scrimmages against the teams. So that's where they found me. Coach Bailey was there, so that's one of the assistant coaches, and that's where he found me, and I guess he really liked me, and so that's how it all happened. And then on September 1st, exactly at 12 a.m., the just first minute, it like sent, it hit. Coach Johnson texted me a full paragraph talking about how he wants to set up a call, and it was just really crazy because that's like I was like in shock because that's my dream. Like any like I was just like, wow, this is really happening right now. Like it's crazy.
How did that first feel? Because like that's minute one of your availability
Yeah.
for recruitment,
Yeah.
and now you have this giant D1 school like hitting you up saying they want you to come there. Like what was your first initial response to that?
Well, I seen the message and I stood up so I can like see if I had any messages. Stood up, got the message, and I was like, no way. No way. And it's like 12 at midnight. So I'm like going to my mom's room and they're all knocked out. And I'm like, turn all the lights. I'm like, Mom, oh my gosh, read this. And then that time we called Atlanta and it was like 12 at night. And she's like, yes. And I just
So you
had
actually called
Yeah,
she was like the first person you called?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know. I love that girl. I tell her everything. So.
Yeah, no, she's amazing. Okay, so from there, you take a couple calls, right? what's your decision making process on, because I know you got offered another visit from a different school, right, that you didn't take. So like, what is that for you in your mind? I want to take this visit over this visit, because I think that's like a really important thing to understand about why you're doing, you're looking at these other schools seriously than other schools.
Well, definitely just the softball program, obviously, like that's what I'm looking for, but also academics. I know every school is obviously going to have great academics. So if they all have what I want, then I definitely want to look at this scholarship, what they offer me, just area towards that. So if they have all the academics that I want every school, then I'm going to look at the softball, because that's what I'm going to college for pretty much.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up academics, because like your academics, especially for softball girls, are very important, right? Because it was explained to me, basically, these colleges get like 12 scholarships,
right?
But they need like 20 people, right? So they split those up. So you're only getting like a half sports scholarship, and then the other half has to come from academic. So it's really important that you guys have good grades, good ACTs, because now they're going off ACTs instead of SATs, right? So all of that is really important. You have all of that, right? So you're going to get full, offers and things like that. How much do you focus on academics versus like the softball stuff?
I think it's an equal amount, because definitely you have to have your academics. My parents are always telling me you have to keep them up. That's the only way you're going to get to college. Like, you don't want to have any debt, so you have to have everything. So when I come home from school, take my computer out right away. I like to finish it right away, and then everything else is just softball. Like that day, I go to the gym, I go to the field, and then when I don't have practice that day, then I'll go to a different field so I can like get more reps. But definitely, I think it's equal amount that I focus on both.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. What else is more important to you about a college? Because I know that we're gonna do one more episode after your next visit when we can actually talk about that one. But there is a college you really want, and so why is it that the college? Is that just the prestige of that college? That's the team you want to be on, or is there something about that actual college?
Definitely, just like the atmosphere I brought, the whole team, the coach. It's just a family-oriented team, and just all of that. I really liked it, and I like how they included everyone. The college, when I went to walk around, everything was closer. Everything, that whole atmosphere was just like, wow. Like, I just felt it. I was like, yeah, I really like this. So.
And you're not, like, to be clear, these visits, these aren't vacations for you and your family. You guys are actually taking this stuff very seriously, right? Why?
This is my future. I'm going to spend 4 or 5 years at this school, and I need to know that I'm going to really love it. I'm going to know how to, like, I'm just going to know I have to love it. I'm going to spend 5 years here, so.
That, and this is, like, the biggest sports contract that, like, it's for softball girls, D1, big Power 5 colleges, that's pro level, basically, right? Because beyond college,
there are Olympics, but you have to be
this time.
Insanely good, like right after.
Yeah, right. Well, they canceled your guys' until 2028, right? Yeah. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. After there's a team's called Athletes Unlimited, so like girls that aren't in college, but like that graduated college, and they're just like playing each other.
Right, and this is a lot of money that these schools are. This is like hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Yeah. So this is stuff to take very seriously, to not really mess around with. Take your visits, take your phone calls. Right. Especially, you're really good at your calls. You write down questions, you ask a lot of questions, and then you sat there with your family and you kind of did like a debrief, like, oh, what could I have done better? Or what other questions do I have? So like your process is actually really good. Yeah, definitely. Also, I'm glad I wrote all of that down, because my other teammates that are also going through this process are just now starting to go through this process. They're asking me, what are you asking them? Do you have any questions I can ask, or what should I say? So definitely I take pictures and I send them over their way. So, and then the next day I'm like, how'd they go? They're like, oh, they really helped. Like, the questions really helped. Stuff I should say really helped. So I'm glad I get to help like my other teammates that are also going through this. The whole point of this is just keep, so that's awesome. I'm glad you came back and did this. Yeah. So you have this one more big visit coming up. So after that, you want to come back? We'll do one more? Yes, I definitely will. Okay, awesome. And then we want to do an update with you and at the Hot Shots out on the field
Okay,
or
yeah.
something. We'll do that. So
sure.
I appreciate you coming back, and good luck on this next visit. 'Cause
Thank
it's
you.
a good one.
Thank you.
Let's go.